How old were you when you first started fighting?
In MMA, you asking, or in
Well, when did you first start martial arts?
with 4 years old, my dad put me with my brother in judo. Then we went to Georgia. We kept practicing with the Greco-Roman wrestling, and then we moved to Spain when I was 15 years old, and completely by chance, we find a gym and we started training the MMA, the mixed martial arts.
Totally by chance.
Totally by chance.
Wow. So were you a mixed martial arts fan at all?
I didn't know anything about the mixed martial arts. I didn't know anything about the BJJ, the ground game, any fucking thing.
Wow.
So we went to Spain, and we wanted to keep with the same discipline as we were doing in Georgia with the Greco-Roman wrestling, but they don't have the culture of that sport. So we were a little bit sad, because we wanted that sport. My brother was really, really good on that. So my mom was working, and he saw a man with the cauliflower ears. She went to him, and she asked him like, "What you doing? Because my kids want to do wrestling. Do you train in some gym or something?" And he said, "No, I'm doing the BJJ. Bring your kids, and I'm gonna show you the gym." She came to home, and my dad and my mom they started to convince us like, there's a gym. They are practicing like jiu-jitsu, MMA, all the sports, and I was like, but what the fuck is this? I don't know what's this. And my dad started to show me the videos of the Gracies. He told me like, this is one of the best sports in the world right now. You are gonna guys love it, this and that. And at that day, we went to the gym, and I felt in love since the first second.
Well, it's actually a great base to start out from. Starting with judo and then Greco-Roman wrestling, and then going into jiu-jitsu. It's really great because you already have an established grappling base.
It's great, of course. My recommendation for everyone is, if you want to have a career in MMA, you should start with wrestling, because for me personally, because this is my personal experience, that it's much easier to learn in the future the boxing than start with boxing and learn the wrestling.
Really?
For me, yes, I think so. And I saw that in many people.
But how old were you when you first started boxing?
17 years old.
That's fairly old, like
Yeah.
when you think about how high level your striking is.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But when I started, I was like, okay, I'm very good with the wrestling. I can take people down. I can control them. I have a great ground game. But what if I go to the highest competition and I find some adversities? I have to be able to fight in the striking also. So I have to develop my game in the striking. And I start from that. And I start with my brother. We were like the first people to go inside the gym and the last ones to leave it. So we were studying every day, all day, like so obsessed. We were watching like all the videos of Julio Cesar Chavez, of Canelo, all that, practicing all the techniques, and then putting in interaction, the sparrings and all that. And I was like finding my style, what that I really like to do.
Well, it's interesting because Spain doesn't have a long history of mixed martial arts. So, like, you are the first champion from Spain in the UFC. So it's very interesting that you got in there as a young man, and there wasn't really like a big established community yet.
So I was the first guy to get into the top 15, the top 10, the top 5, and then the world champion. We had a guy in Spain who fought in the UFC. I don't know if you remember him, Enrique Wasabi.
Okay, yeah.
He did the Ultimate Fighter. Then we have another guy also, Joel Alvarez. He's doing a great job also. But before that, we didn't have anyone in the UFC.
So when you first started training, were there amateur competitions in Spain?
Yeah.
There was amateur MMA? And
I made 3 fights in amateur. And then I started with the professional game. I did 4 fights in Spain. And at some point, it was so difficult to find a fight for me that I had to start to travel in the European territory to get a fight. Yeah, and everything started from that.
But it's fascinating because a lot of world champions generally well, there's a good percentage of them come from an established gym that already has elite high-level competition. But it seems like that's not the case with your gym.
No, it wasn't. So I don't know. I don't know what was the reason, to be honest, to came this far. I don't know.
Well, that's always the question with champions. Like, are champions born or are they bred? Because there's gyms that develop, like Marvin Hagler came out of the Petronelli Brothers gym in Brockton, Massachusetts. They're not known for world championship fighters, but Marvin Hagler is one of the greatest of all time. It's like there was something inside of him that made him excel.
The same thing. There was something inside me that made me the person who I am today.
Did you know when you first started training, when you first started doing MMA, that you were going to fight professionally?
Yeah, since the first day. So my mindset always was the same, exactly the same as I have right now. I'm like, if someone did it, I also can do it. And if no one did it, I can be the first one to do it. This is the mindset I always had. And it's like, yeah, that I think that the champion are they are not born, they are made also, because you can burn in a extraordinary situation, but you can end up so bad, and the opposite also. You can burn in a, I don't know, crazy situation and end up in a paradise.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing because all champions are not the same type of person either. You've got guys like Sugar Sean O'Malley, who's silly and smokes weed and has crazy hair. And then you got guys like Alex Pereira, very stoic, very serious. Everyone's different.
He's very serious.
Very
I met
serious.
him in Sydney. I went with my brother because he made his UFC debut. And yeah, he was kind of quiet, like.
Yeah, he's intense.
Yeah, he's so serious.
Yeah, he's intense. I remember watching him fight for the first time in Glory in kickboxing, and I was like, Jesus Christ. Just watch the way he KOs people. I was like, this guy is different.
Huge.
Yeah.
Great.